rising anticipation, the swelling of volcano, the magma of dreams pining for a catalyst, a single crack of lucid light to seep through the point where all this erupted so quickly I couldn't be certain it was real. I am unaware of what inebriated karaoke song it was that scratched the stale air when we collided. I did not see the thirsty men gulping back bitter shots of lust, lights and inhibitions dimmed. She moved faster than that, a lightning flash, the seductive blue of eyes as she withdrew, asking me in silence to stomach the kinetic of kissing deadly, not flinching. And as hot ash and dust rose and swirled around us, she wiped bold red evidence from my lips like lava flow, not wanting to leave fingerprints smoldering on the crime scene. Her stare was piercing. It held the earth still, if only for a moment. Our eyes speaking for our hearts, revealing all I had feared and everything I had hoped for, a kiss, a secret. And there, I, crumbling earth tectonic accomplice, bit hard on the inside of my cheek, trying to break free of paralysis like swallowing fishhooks without snagging gills, then take the kind of deep breath you might expect of a jaw-dropped crater, puffing out his chest, disguising a plume of smoke as mountaintop. And doing all this before joining my salamander and an ignorant alibi at a table in the next room. So, volcanic love. I got a little set list written out here, so maybe I'll follow it, maybe I won't, we'll see. This next one is a newer poem. It's so new that it's only written in my notebook, right? So like, hey girl, hey. All right. So this one is entitled 12/18/2016. Sunday. Kiss me like coffee. There are rocks in my shoes. There is an anchor in this bed. Somewhere beneath all these blankets, there lives a dream. I am knocking on your door. I am letting myself in. I am not wearing any underwear again. As in, my guard is down, just like your hair. It is 10 a.m. It is 10 p.m. We are approaching the shore. So close now, your lips taste of salt, of highway, of journey. So close now, we are laughing, folding our smiles into one another's laps. I saw you, swimming through these sheets. I followed, and here we are, mouth to mouth, passing breath, passing minutes, passing tomorrow between our teeth. Doing really well tonight. So, on the theme of this beatnik poetry, this is another older poem, but it's written on the back of this artist's card that I met in Pike Place Market. She does these they're not paintings, they're not collages, but she tears up all bits of paper and magazine, construction paper, and she turns them into paintings. They look like watercolors, straight up, it looks like watercolors, and it blew my mind. So I stole her little card when I was there in Seattle, and I wrote a poem on the back of it, and this is that poem. So this is Seattle in October 2015. There is certainly no difference between what our dreams and this world are made of. So what is the wandering lust that leads us ever unsure of ourselves? Lately, I maintain a calm tension, a set of strings awaiting their song, posture restrung. I have finally found a good use for all this anxiety. It sharpens me today. I am seeing everything and trying to give as much back in return. We are riding the bus from the 3rd Avenue Post Office back to Fremont, and she has to pee. I read a poem by Danny Sherrard entitled Touch. You know, I heard he was struck by lightning twice, I tell her. And she tells me of a family in which 3 generations of men have all been struck by lightning, and I think about this really hard as I dig through my bag in search of something I'm not sure of. These crystals, I say. I found them in a cave in Jerome. I want you to have them, I say. Thank you, she says. But you know, I still have to pee. But our stop is next, and the afternoon sun is warm on my face, and we will be home soon. And how I wish that I were not just a visiting someone, but one who is brave enough to stay. That poem that I just read was written on the back of that lady's card, and this is a thing I do. One of my favorite musicians is Joe Strummer. Do you guys know who Joe Strummer is? Yeah, he's the lead singer of The Clash, for everyone who didn't woo right there. And The Clash is like up there, top 3 favorite bands for me. Oh my goodness, is this going to be the one poem that fell out? No, it's not. And so that one's written on the back of some lady's card. There was a while when I first got my typewriter that I was tearing out magazine pages and writing poems on those, on the prompts of the pages themselves. So if you can't see this page, it's a really big boat stuck in some ice and some dude leading a dog sled. So this poem's entitled Hindsight. Apparently I thought it had to do with some dude and dogs and a boat stuck in ice, but maybe it doesn't. Hindsight is being reminded that we can never move backwards. Yet we routinely retrace our steps around memories, chasing ghosts across deserts. I expect the journey forward to only get stranger. Decisions, decisions, decisions. Where to go from here? I have left miles of mistakes in my wake, yet onward the sea she will carry us. Onward. It's a word I've been stuck on. Onward. Look ahead. Move forward. For this is the only path your feet may follow. I would like to believe that it will be great rock and roll music that one day saves the world. How malleable is the matter we call soul? How taut can these heartstrings stretch before they snap, and we are left wondering how far we must go in search of ourselves. You guys didn't notice, Joshua Wiss, who is way prettier than I am, walked in the door.
Yeah! He's right.
I'm always right, Tim. And I wrote 2 of the poems I'm going to share tonight. I wrote while waiting to watch Josh feature in Mesa. I don't even know when that was. When was that, Josh? Because I don't have dates on these.
Like the past summer.
Yeah, it was last summer, right? Okay. So these are last summer. So they're not new, but I've never read them. So they're new. It's like the loophole in the rule. Right through that loophole.
Vacuum sealed for right
Yeah, vacuum sealed for right now. So this is the first of those poems. Like I said, there's going to be 2 of those tonight. And they're sort of highway poems, sort of Arizona poems, I guess. This one I like more than the other one, but the ending's not as good. And endings are everything for me in poetry. It's like, Bukowski was like one of my first big hits with like poetry, and that motherfucker knows how to end a poem. Like, he might not know much else. You know? He might be a bastard, but he can end a poem. So this one does not have a good ending. So don't compare this to Bukowski. The next one we'll compare. The Arizona highway is home to the secrets of her sons. There are dreams littering this stretch of roadway, making for better attractions than the suburban shopping sprawls which compete with them. I am an empty gas tank in Mesa, filling its pockets with seashells. The shells rattle like an old truck on a dirty road, in tune with the forgotten ways of transgender scorpions. On this road, the insect's teeth are the loudest sound for 100 miles. I am aging heat rash, watching monsoons stroll through town like tumbleweed, like muted goodbye in a rearview mirror that knows somewhere there is better music than what this arachnid's frantic feet keep drumming on the inside of my eyelids. No, because see, Ian doesn't want me to read that one. He wants it to be all different and new. We're not doing Church of Coffee.
You don't get over it.
Coffee Cup is new to all these people. It gives me
Wait,
chills.
do it at the end, like, you know, famous bands do.
I have a whole set list I want to get through. I planned this out. I got drunk the past 3 nights in a row on whiskey, and I was like, I'm gonna write a set list, man. And so you guys get what I want, all right? This is my set. and we're gonna rock it.
That's right.
If you feel like.
So.
Live your dream.
I say amen.
I say amen. I say amen. So a lot of my poems tonight are shorter, which I really like. It's another thing Bukowski talks about is Bukowski and Orwell both talk about is that a poet should always be trying to say as much as they can in as little as they can.
Yes.
And I dig that, you know, and like Poetry Slam, something I've been involved with a long time. You get a 3-minute time slot, you know, or like a few of their events are different, but typically 3-minute time slot, and that's too much sometimes. And like a lot of poets just try to fill that time slot. And it's like, shut the fuck up. You didn't need that. You had about 30 seconds of poetry, and then you just fluffed it out, you know? So tonight I'm reading a lot of my shorter shit that I don't ever get to read. So this one is entitled When Living Alone. It's another shorter poem.
Brevity is the soul of wit.
Yeah.
Yeah, who said that?
Who said that?
Is that Kanye?
We're not going to talk about Kanye. Unless it's Kanye Twitty.
And longevity is the whole of clits. Yeah.
It's actually a philosopher known as 50 Cent.
Oh, shit.
I thought it was
Someone else should be doing the set. They got the rhymes. When living alone. When living alone, one overlooks the small things. When living alone, one overlooks the small things. There is company over tonight, and I have forgotten about the hair on the bathroom counter. It does not belong to me. She is tense, pensive. I'm telling the other guests about the fresh coat of paint covering my building like it were a distracting newscast. She already knows how it ends. She has been here before. Her fingerprints dance about the studio as if her name was stuck in my teeth. Secrets, like everything else, don't last forever. It's like literally 2 stanzas, but I love it for whatever reason. It's super dumb. It doesn't fucking mean a thing, but like for me, yeah. Here's my poem. Give it up for my poem. We'll drink again to that.
So lifelike.
When God was alive, he loved to drive. He drove real fast. Said he had a need to see it all. He drove recklessly, confident in his miracles. Well, one night, God got too drunk to drive. And he and his car did a nosedive off the switchbacks, and just like that, God was dead. And we were left here, responsible for our own mistakes.
Ooh. That's how you go in the poem.
It's a shit poem, but it's got a great ending. That's the point, you know.
We're all like,
This one is one of my more recent poems. This one is actually a dictation of a movie review. And if you can guess the movie that's being reviewed in this dictation, you win a drink from me.
on it.
All right?
Debbie Does Dallas.
It was a real Hollywood fan fiction. A whole lot of CGI, not very much character development. Some of the creatures were weird or whatever, some cool, I guess. But I was really high. Who's to say? We can't trust ourselves anyways.
Yeah, 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Anything with Jar Jar Binks.
Anything with Jar Jar Binks?
Passion of the Christ?
I'll take Passion of the Christ. I'll take that. All right. Like I said when I started my little set here, I wanted to keep this set kind of beatnik. That was kind of the theme I came up with when I was pulling poems out of my notebooks and my typewriter that I haven't read. And one of my favorite beatniks is Ginsberg.
Yes!
Yeah. And there's this really great interview with Ginsberg where they ask him where he comes up with his best writing. And his response is like, my best writing comes when I sit down at the typewriter and just type for a day, 2 days, 3 days. And he's like, I gotta get to the point where I don't even know what the fuck I'm writing anymore. And it's just coming out of me. And he says, and I know it's really good when I look at the poem when it's done and I don't know what the fuck it means.
True.
Truth.
And I really like that. I've always really liked that. So like this poem has an ending line, be certain she is made of wood. And I wrote that line just as a reference to a really funny movie some people may know, Monty Python. And that's all it was to me when I like was just in the furious of typing it. And then of course, like months later, I look back at this poem and I realized it fit the whole poem, and it was just like this huge metaphor, and it was great. And so I'm gonna read that poem for you. It's called Ukulele. I am a ukulele until a dry mouth and a cough awake me human. I swear off the cigarettes, then shove blame down the bong. It's the cigarettes, it's the bong, the cigarettes and the bong. And lately, I've been getting lost in this rhythmic contradiction. I've been apologizing to the cat. She is the closest and most affected by my mood swings and mania. I haven't seen my heart in some time. Just keep waiting for postcards, the I wish you were here's, the phone calls, and I wish I wasn't so scared. Scared to fight, to open up, to come clean for once and speak my piece. See, I haven't seen my heart in a long time, so I call out of the blue for guidance, like just a clue on which direction I should be headed. My heart is watching a movie with Kevin. Promises to call back in the morning. On my bad days, I am a panic attack in anticipation of another panic attack. On the good days, I'm a little more ganja and ukulele than that. Feel best as 4 wheels in motion, impossible to stop, but these days the hardest part is to get going. And I would not say regret, because I do not believe in words as heavy as that. However, I am unashamed in feeling this bitter at my age. People will break you. So keep moving, be it on 4 wheels or just back and forth across wooden necks. The calendar, a countdown of paychecks and hours spent, of days passed and moments missed, been biting my lips since we last kissed. Is this regret? Would knowing really make a difference? And the cat replies, love, 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 love. So I try to never hold a grudge. Try to just love, 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 but it's hard. See, I thought that if I stood still long enough, I'd begin to take root. But the earth, funny thing about the earth is, she spins with or without you. Life rolls on. People will break your heart. Some can remove it completely. They'll rob the silver and the cold. So if you must fall, fall for a feline. And if it must be a woman, be certain first that she is in fact made of wood. My goodness. Keep putting my whiskey in different places. Thank you. You were on it. You're like, there it is, sir.
He's the whiskey valet, dude. He's got you.
So this next poem obviously fits the suit of shit I just wrote really quick and then didn't edit. And it's sort of cool. Like, one thing people have always told me about my poetry, which I didn't necessarily like think was a thing, until I looked at this poem to do this set, and I was just like, it's kind of a thing I do. Where they say my poetry is very lyrical. So this poem is like, if you like look at it on paper, I type all my poems on typewriter sometimes. So like not all of them, but some of them. And like it's like the stanza breaks are all there, and it's just like it could be like, you know, verse, chorus, kind of thing. So it could be a song if I could write music, but I can't. So this is my closest imitation. This poem's entitled, I've Got No Money. Yeah. Fuck yeah, being broke.
Right crowd.
I don't know when I wrote this poem, but I know I spilled coffee on it. You can tell right there by that coffee stain. So it must have been sometime in the morning.
Not necessarily.
I've got no money, honey, no ambition. a lost sense of time. I've got no money, honey, but I still know what's funny, still know how to have a good time. My grandfather was a fisherman. He had eyes gray and deep like the ocean. So do you. You say you feel like you've known me for a long time, and I think this is why. We are similar like the East and West Coast. You be the Pacific, I'll be the Atlantic. We'll star in a play which oceans fall in love. In this play, our feet will be the waters stirring around Cape Horn, the Panama Canal, our lips. I've got no money, honey, no ambition, but I'm doing fine. I've got no money, honey. I'm all broken strings and recycled canvas, and I like that you don't seem to mind. I've had a lot of friends who have died. Most were junkies. You could say this too. I feel like I've known you for a long time, and I think this is why. We are similar like cocaine and methamphetamines. You be cocaine, I'll be methamphetamines. We'll play the roles of each other's addictions. We can stay up late and tell each other everything. Tell each other the things we couldn't tell ourselves, like the truth. I've got no money, honey, but I still know it's funny, and I'd like to give this a try. I've got no money, honey. I'm all broken strings and refried beans, but I promise that I lack the capacity to lie. I mean, you don't have to go let me push you, but like, I mean, I got a little time in my set. I think.
Well,
So
I
got till
mean,
9 o'clock, right, Ian?
I think it was pretty much
He's got a
perfect.
limerick. I want to hear it.
Yeah.
Evan, your words make me sick.
I bet.
That's
And
the
with
limit.
emotion, they quicken the quick. They inspire the bone, and I don't feel alone. If I was gay, I'd suck the shit out of you.
Hey, I just want to make sure you get your protein. So, all right.
Mostly
On the rails.
potassium. Mostly potassium. True story. Even now.
Oh my
I
goodness.
just noticed.
I eat a lot of pineapple, you know, so you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Pineapples go on one thing.
Pineapple pizza tonight, both 1 and 2. Pineapple is my favorite pizza topping. It catches a lot of shit.
Yes.
And I love pineapple on pizza.
Confirmed.
So I really enjoyed there being 2 of those tonight. So this is the other poem about Arizona highways that actually has a really good ending in my mind. So maybe you think the other ending was good. You're dumb. This ending is better. But the poem may not be as good. I don't know. The one thing I like about these 2 Arizona highway poems is that they were written very spontaneous. I wrote the first one that I read earlier at the gas station when I was filling up my tank. It was just like that quick. Like I was sitting there, I was just like, well, I got time to kill before the set. I might as well write this poem while I'm sitting here thinking about it, because that's what Joe Strummer would do. Like, Joe Strummer has a quote where he says, if you got something to write, you push motherfuckers out of the way, you grab a crayon, you write on the sidewalk, I don't give a fuck, you write that shit down right then and there. And he has, like, the weirdest lyrics out there. Like, there's one of his songs, right in the middle of the song, he just yells, "Cheese boyga!" It's like, it has nothing to do with anything. But, like, if you listen to the song, it's so important that he yells "Cheese boyga." It's like, it makes the tune. And the second one, so I filled up my gas tank, wrote the first poem. I drove to the venue, and the show wasn't happening yet, so I went and sat on a bench that was just like a little ways away from the venue, and I decided it was a good time to clean out my backpack. And when I was cleaning out my backpack, I found some hash that I had apparently flown to several different states with in my backpack and not been busted. And I thought this was a sign that I should probably smoke the hash before I forgot about it again. And I smoked the hash and I wrote this poem. This arrival is constant motion, like the home of a heartbeat. This desert is more delusional than its heat. This idea that love can grow anywhere regenerates, like the quick reptilian. The Lone Star Cadillac with a lazy sway, it is waving in reverse, a flag at half-mast. The full moon is flirting with the afternoon sun. She is done waiting for dawn to arrive too late. We must question our boundaries Better we become the wake of overdue homecomings. Must is a word I do not like nearly as much as musk. As sweat, as sheets, as body heat, this exhaustion is proud of how much it stinks, like a highway wreck, like a wet dog, like downtown Phoenix smog, like the secrets littered in the strung out broken glass, in the tattoos that scab and bleed far too soon.
Yeah.
All right. So this next poem is my second oldest poem of the set, and that being said, I've never read it anywhere. I actually typed this poem and then put it in my typewriter case and didn't see it again until 2 nights ago when I was coming up with a set list. And it's actually a really fucking good poem. Like, really good, in my mind. Maybe you guys will disagree. If you think it sucks, tell me when I finish. Be like, boo! That sucked! So I wrote this when I was 23 years old, and I was living at the time in an apartment with a bunch of other fucking dudes. There was like, at one point, what, like 8 of us living in that apartment, 3-bedroom apartment, 8 of us, like guys, gals, the whole works. We were recording like albums in my closet and the whole nine. But I found this poem, and it's fucking gold. And again, it's another poem that if you look at it on paper, look at that, it's 2 lines. Every stanza is 2 fucking lines. How could I make that happen? I don't know. So, here we go. Sometimes I feel like shit, a 23-year-old pothead. Most of the time, however, I feel great. I seem happier than half the people I meet. Don't worry as much. Don't sweat the small stuff. Sure, the world is mostly yuck. I mean, what the fuck? But you know what? There's beauty in this life. Look well and don't trust your eyes, eternal neon child. Open yourself to the possibility of being more than you are now. You are a living expression, the swelling breath of God. You are a canvas of flesh, an unyielding will to be, is. You are dying, and there is nothing more beautiful than that. Now, I'm no wise man, a 23-year-old pothead, but I know with absolute certainty there is no reason to fear that which is inevitable. Yeah. Took my mind off of it. So I have one more planned poem for you. I guess I have 5 minutes. This one won't take 5 minutes. So I started with my oldest poem, and I'm going to finish with my newest. That being said, reading the date on my newest poem makes me feel kind of embarrassed, but it is my newest completed poem in a way. This one also comes out of that notebook that I was reading from earlier. I just retyped it because chicken scratch can be difficult. So this poem is 12/22/2016. Today is a lazy rain falling on deaf bed sheets. The sun whispers in through the window but does not hang around long. The space heater hums a slow tune. You are a sleeping pumpkin patch. Your hair a tangle of smiles. You and I, we are the type who tie our own stomach into knots, but today we draw on a long breath. The first time I heard your heart, it beat faster than I feared I would ever be able to keep up with. And I still fear this falling in love. But that night I kissed your chest with a spell on my tongue. It read, "Green-eyed wind, you mustn't ever stop, but slow down for just a moment, and I will hold you like riverbed. Hold you the way a pillow holds dreams. And maybe, just maybe together, wrapped in limbs, we will finally find sleep once again."
was outstanding.